Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about how to overcome challenge and controversy. And this is going to be a tune-up series. And if you think about challenge and controversy, challenge might be something that we are going through, hard time, difficult moment. Controversy, on the other hand, that's going to be an interesting topic that we're going to be bringing up today. Because if we look at the definition of controversy, the disagreement typically when prolonged, public, and heated. So the announcement ended at a protracted controversy. So some of the terms are going to be disagreement, dispute, argument, debate, dissension, contention. And tying the two together, challenge and controversy, is going to be unique in the sense because the blog that came out yesterday is going to be talking about that. And what we're going to be talking about is the blog today, breaking down all the sections and learning how to understand how to overcome challenge and then the aspect of controversy in the mix. Because if we have challenge, we can figure out a solution for it. If we have a problem, there's an answer. But when there's something going on, when we have a disagreement, controversy, behind something, you think something different than I think, or there's a topic that is controversial, we can't talk about it because it's going to offend someone. Well, in life, we're not trying to not offend people. If you're one of those people who tiptoe through life, you're only going to make it safely to death. And we have to make sure we live our life the best we can. So there's going to be many controversial conversations that we have here in Coaching Session. And we never pinpoint or we never point a finger saying, you are the problem. Now, sometimes you might say that weak men are the issue, or I might say that fast food is the enemy. And when I'm talking about that, I'm being subjective, right? Is all the world weak, right? No, right? All the men in the world are not going to be weak. Is all the fast food going to be unhealthy? Probably not, right? There's going to be healthy options. Just because I say something like that, it could be controversial, right? But at the same time, I'm not just looking to offend people. I'm looking to spark mindset. I'm looking to spark a conversation. I'm looking to spark awareness. And if you can be aware in your life, then you can start to make changes. And that is why this blog is a tune-up series and not a regular blog, because you have to have a good mindset in order to understand this. Because if I just kind of went in with this topic and you didn't have a good mindset, guess what? You would have a lot of questions and there would be a lot of backlash because a lot of things that I say in the blog and I'm going to say in this podcast are not popular. It's the hot take. The hot take is something that many people don't want to hear, but you're going to hear it here. So let's get into that blog right now and start to dissect how to overcome challenge and controversy. All right, so let's start looking at this blog, how to overcome challenge and controversy. And it is going to be a doozy one because we have to understand many different things about mindset in order to understand how to overcome challenge and controversy. Now, we can have the mindset to overcome challenge. I can make that a regular blog. How to overcome challenge. Easy. In order to overcome challenge, you need to have a good mindset. You need to have good habits. You need to have control of your schedule. You need to know what you're doing in your day. You need to make that awareness. You need to have purpose. You need to have drive. You need to find a way to be motivated. We can talk about how to overcome challenge depending on the challenge. Let's say you have a challenge with a difficult person, right? You're dealing with a difficult person. How can you overcome that challenge? Well, have you tried to mediate? Is there anything that you can do to fix the situation? If not, is there a way that you can ignore it? And if you can't, what is the best course of action to deal with it? If it's a coworker, you might want to go speak with the person in charge, supervisor, manager, boss, right? Whatever. And then just kind of explain the situation. If the situation doesn't get resolved or it's worse, bring it up again. And of course, if nothing happens or if nothing changes, then something has to give. That means either you go or that other person is let go. Your boss or your manager, your supervisor, they're going to see someone as valuable because you can use that kind of an ultimatum saying, listen, I understand you're busy with other people and there's other problems. That's why there's an HR department to typically handle most of these situations. And if you have proof about what's happening, you could bring it to the HR department. But if you don't, and you're just kind of like in your small mom and pop place, you have to make a decision. It's either them or is it me? And it's not that I'm better than them. It's just that I understand my value. I understand my worth. And I understand that I'm not going to be in this controversy any longer because it's not helping me. So we have to change. We have to grow from it. There's a way we can do that. And we have to go through the process, the step-by-step process. But today we're not going to be talking about workplace challenge or workplace controversy. I mean, we can start to interject different ideas and examples. And we can switch the relation to the examples of how I have it in the blog to your own personal life. We can do that, or you can do that, because you get to see, oh, that's similar to this situation. But here I'm talking about one concept, and that is going to be the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. What does that quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. mean? And we can say, oh, well, first of all, it shouldn't just be a man. It can also be a woman. The ultimate measure of a woman is not where she stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where she stands in times of challenge and controversy. It goes both ways, right? But when he was saying this, he was just giving a understanding. And this is a concept that we won't know for sure, but I can say for almost certain that the reason why he said man was not because he doesn't believe that women are not in the situation, but because men are going to be the first culprits in this. Why are men the first culprits in this? Because men are the last people to get help. I can go online on Google, wherever, and I can find a woman coach. I can find a coach helping women. I can go on Podmatch right now, and I can go through the list of guests that what they do is they help women do something, succeed, achieve, believe. But for men, far and few between. Why is it that women are going to be out supporting them or each other, but men are not doing that? Or men are not going out and seeking help or advancement or betterment? It's because we have learned this idea. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he is comfortable, but where he is uncomfortable and what he does about it. It's very interesting. Because if a man is not happy with his 9 to 5, he's working 40 hours for someone, and he's not happy with it, why is he going to stay in that job for a paycheck? Now, he might stay in that job for a paycheck because of family, things like that. It's very possible. But what would happen if that man left, right? He might be faced with challenge. Maybe he wanted to start his own business. Starting a business is very challenging. So he has to learn how to live in that, how to grow in it. And it's very important. So that quote leads us off here. And then it leads us to our ultimate measure of a man, right? What is the ultimate measure of a man? And it's going to be very simple. Easy times are going to create weak men. Tough times create strong men, and the solution. And we're going to be breaking down the ultimate measure of a man in today's episode. So the ultimate measure of a man is not going to be simply what he does, what he has accomplished. It's going to be the entirety of his mindset. Because we can live in comfort today and we can change our whole entire circumstance. There's a path for building, and we have to understand that the path that we need in order to build into our ultimate form or ultimate evolution, or however you want to say it, we are trying to get to the end goal, the end point. The end point doesn't come very easily, though. It's going to take a lot of work, maybe a lot of trial and error. And from that trial and error, we start to make some adjustments. And those adjustments can be made by anyone. And the idea that we're facing today on how to overcome challenge and controversy is that we are not willing to face a challenge. We are not willing to argue or to dispute our cause or our claim or our purpose. We just allow the world to move us in any way it wants. Oh, my life is this way because of that. This happened because of this. That is a victim mindset. Why are we so concerned about what the world is doing to us rather than what we're doing to the world? We have to take more action in our days, and we have to figure out how to be more in our days. The world is already figuring out what it needs to do, so why are we going to allow that world to give us a plan? Society is not going to give us a good plan. It's not going to give us a plan that's going to make us happy. It might give us a plan that we think we're going to be happy with, right? The American dream, right? If I follow the American dream, I'm going to be happy. If I do this, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be satisfied if I get this car or this pocketbook or this watch or these clothes. I'm going to be happy. So what happens in between is that we form a lifestyle, and the lifestyle is the problem. Do you live within your lifestyle? Do you live below your lifestyle? Or do you live above your lifestyle? Within your means? Do you live in your means, above your means, or below your means? The same thing. The only difference is we just say lifestyle. How many cars do you want? You want a BMW or do you want a Toyota? You get to choose. Which one do you choose? And most people are going to say, well, it would be nice to have a BMW, right? Because it is appropriated with wealth or with status. And we want that. And the idea of that weak men are just looking for comfort, looking for ease is ever prominent right now. And we look at just society right now in the portrayal of men. You can turn on sitcoms, you can turn on cartoons. The men are very goofy, they're very aloof. They're not as strong and masculine as they were maybe back in the 70s and 80s. We used to be go-getters, but all of a sudden now we're complacent. So now if we're taking men from challenge, from being more, right? So there's no challenge now. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about getting anyone upset, disputing anyone, saying something controversial. Simply follow this and you'll be okay. Work this 9 to 5 and you'll be okay. But that's where the challenge comes. How can we get out of that rat race? And it's going to be very difficult to get out of rat race if you're working a 9 to 5 salary and you don't have anything else going for you. An empire is not built 9 to 5. It's built from 7 to 11. So you get an hour in between to figure out your life and to do what you have to do to recharge. And then at night, you start working to make some changes. Many people, they just kind of want things given to them. They think that if they just follow along the system or they just wait 10, 20, 30 years, whatever it takes to finally get to the point where they can make a change. Well, I have a secret for you. You can make that change today. There is no thing stopping you unless you want to look at your mind. Your mindset might be stopping you. You might have obstacles in your mind that you have to take care of. And if you can take care of those obstacles very quickly, then guess what starts to happen? There's less challenges. You're not worried about being controversial, because if you're controversial and someone doesn't like what you said, too bad for them, because you are now learning strength. You're confident in who you are, who you're becoming. What you say is what you believe. And though there can be some ignorance behind sometimes our words, we might not know the full truth. But if we look back at the tolerance theory, the episode with the tolerance theory, my belief is my belief. And if it hurts your feelings, then that is up to you. You're in control of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. So you get to choose. What I say can offend you, or what I say can open up your ears, right? And it can open up your ears in a good or bad way. The good way is, oh, he's saying something interesting. Bad way is, I don't like what he's saying. I'm not going to listen to him. You get to make that choice. And in life, we get to continue to make choices, continue to make progress, continue to make change. And then if we look at the idea of easy times, weak men are created. So we don't judge a man by the easy times, because if we judge a man by simply the easy task, oh, this man is so great. Guess what? Anyone could have did it. Kid could have did it. For example, oh, this man is so great. He sent me a text message. Oh, this man is so great. He opened a door for me. Oh, this man is so great. He paid for the bill, right? Anyone can do that. That doesn't make a man strong. It might make him traditional, but it doesn't make him strong. So he might be in comfort. He might not have any plans for the future, and you need to figure that out. When I work with a lot of women on dating and relationships, one of the questions that they have to ask the man is, tell me your 5 or 10 year goal. Because if he doesn't have one, he's not ready for a relationship. And I know it sounds bad because, he just doesn't have, everything planned out. He needs a coach. Number one. Number two, if he doesn't have everything planned out, how can he afford to be in a relationship with you if you have things planned out? I mean, red flag. Not saying he's a bad match. It's just that he's not the right match for you at that moment. So when we have a weak man living in comfort in who he is, and he doesn't see himself in the future as something different or see growth into his life, that's going to be stagnant at some point, right? You're going to find yourself in a relationship where it's kind of like a dead end. What are we doing next? Maybe you go travel, maybe you don't, right? If you didn't talk to him about it before and didn't make plans, and he had no plans, he's probably not going to be the one to be making travel plans. So if you're okay doing everything, go for it. But the majority of women, they want a traditional man, and they want a man to lead. So if you're not one of those women who don't want a man that's going to be a leader, provider, and is going to look at the relationship as something that's valuable, go for it. But you have to make sure that you understand the difference between a weak and a strong man. And now we're going into different times, right? So the second part of the quote is talking about I'm going to judge a man by where he's standing in conflict and controversy and challenge, right? That man right there, he's going to have some scars, some wounds. His armor is going to be dented, chipped, cut. Whatever is happening, he's going to learn from his mistakes, or he's going to learn from the experiences. And through that challenge, he actually becomes stronger. Think of it akin to muscle building. If I go to the gym, my muscle fibers are going to be tearing from doing bicep curls, doing squats, whatever I'm doing. My muscles are going to grow. And there's a reason why they grow. Because your brain is like, oh, this person is using his muscles to lift very heavy weights. And in order for me to not get hurt and hurt my body, because the brain is all about how can I survive? How can I make sure the body, my vessel, is taken care of? And if it sees a habit, Monday through Friday, he's going or she's going to the gym, working out all the time, guess what's going to happen? The body's going to adjust. Oh, he needs more muscle. She needs more muscle. She needs to be able to have better cardio so she can run on the treadmill or the Stairmaster, things like that. It starts to happen in your body. Not because you sat on the sofa and watched some TV. It happened because of challenge. It happened because of you deciding, I'm going to be uncomfortable, not I'm going to be comfortable. So many people want to choose comfort, not the uncomfortable aspect. And if you choose the uncomfortable, you start to grow. But the problem is many people are going to choose the comfortable. We're in an amazing time of the year. January is an amazing time. Even early on, in February and even up to April, you can get into good habits and create a flow for yourself. There's an issue though. That comfort always comes back. It always sneaks back in. How can I make my life easy? What is so easy about this? Well, guess what? If I don't want to cook, I can just go get some food from the fast food place. McDonald's is right around the corner. Popeyes is right down the street. Burger King is 2 blocks away. I can order a pizza and it'll be here in 10 minutes. I can make my life very simple. But the problem with making my life simple is that I make my today easy, but my tomorrow harder. And I keep making my tomorrows harder if I keep choosing easy. And the solution is very simple. How can I start to challenge myself more? We need to start to challenge ourselves more. Now, if you're not walking, add some steps to your roster. Our phones have a built-in tracker nowadays. You don't even need an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. Your phone can tell you how many steps you take. The only thing you have to have is your phone in your pocket. You don't even need to have it in your hand. You could put it in your pocket and you can start walking. And from doing that, you can say, oh, today I walked 1,000 steps. Yesterday, I walked 500 steps. Guess what? You made progress. And even if you walk 700 steps tomorrow, understand that the next day you can walk 1,200 or 1,300 steps. You can make progress. Even if you went from 700 to 500 to 600 to 1,000 again, that is still making progress. You just have to understand. And then you have to challenge yourself. Because if you say, oh, I got to 700. Let me try to get back to 1,000. Let me try to make that a habit. Then you make it a habit. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Make 1,500 now a habit. 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. And after you make 1,500, go up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You see that the process of building habits is actually very simple. You just have to understand. You start small and you go from there. The idea of small victories. And this blog is going to be talking about multiple aspects of what we've been talking about on the podcast, especially on the blogs. The blogs kind of have a mindset thing also where we're moving along and we need this in order to reach that. So the idea of the Tune-Up series part 42, how to overcome challenge and controversy, is going to be maybe the next step after reading all the previous blogs. So that's why it's a Tune-Up series. Again, you have to have a good mindset, but then you also have to be following along. Because if you're just going to read Tune-Up series 42, it's going to help, but you're going to have a lot of burning questions, I can guarantee you, because we talk about a lot of stuff in this blog. We're talking about why men are weak and what they need to do different. We don't necessarily talk about women because we're just generalizing that when Dr. King said this quote, he's talking about men because a weak man is actually worse than a weak woman. Because if we start to think, really think, what is the idea of a weak woman? It's very difficult to define that. Me as a mindset coach, it is difficult to define what a weak woman is. I might think of strength, but not in the sense of what is a weak man. A weak man is maybe someone who can't handle his business, can't pay child support or take care of his kids. Maybe he can't keep a job. Maybe he's all day at home watching TV or movies or playing video games or watching porn. We can go all day for men on what makes a man weak, but it's very difficult to say what makes a weak woman. Because if I say what makes a weak woman, then I'm a misogynist or I'm something negative all of a sudden. Because I'm looking at a woman in a light that they're typically not viewed. The value of a man is different than the value of a woman. But if I ask that question, what is your value to either, there's going to be very different answers. And just because they're different answers doesn't mean one is wrong or the other is wrong, right? It's going to be opinion and it's going to be thought belief based. Because my mindset can lead me to this way of thinking versus your mindset can lead you to that way of thinking. Which one is right? And what I can tell you is that the challenges that we give ourselves, we need to come up with solutions. And when I work with clients, I'm given a lot of challenges. I'm given a lot of problems that they have. And you know what I do? I see their issues. I see their problems. And since I've been doing it for quite some time, I'm pretty good at it where I can say, that's your problem very quickly. I don't even have to say, okay, well, next session, we'll figure out your problem. Typically, even in the consultation, I could probably give you a good understanding of your issue. But the goal is to simply not tell you the issue, because if I tell you the issue, it doesn't mean you're going to fix it. Do you want to fix it? Think of a car. If you have a car and you're driving and all of a sudden you hear a noise and you go to a mechanic and the mechanic says, this is the problem, it needs to be fixed. Mechanic says it's $2,000. You're like, can I still drive? Mechanic says, yeah, you can still drive, but it's a problem and it might get worse. I'll take that risk. And that's what we do with life. We say, I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to rise up to the challenge. I'm not going to be controversial. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk playing it safe. Why do you think so many people tiptoe in life and they only figure out at the end of life that they should have been more prominent, that they should have been louder, that they should have been more daring? They have wasted their entire life and they're not getting another one. There's no reset. And the fact that there's no reset should make us understand that we need to be pushing more. We need to be more. How can we be more? How can we get to a better place? We need to understand how to overcome our challenges, and we need to learn that no matter what we say or what we do or what the world says or what we does shouldn't have an effect on who we are and who we can become or who we are becoming. Because the world is going to say that we're this person or that person. Social medias or the mainstream medias, they're going to label someone as bad or evil, but they don't even see what this person truly is. They see those individuals as half empty, not half full. So they might have a great mindset. They're positive and things like that. But when it comes to another person, the controversial aspect comes in. Oh, that person? I can no longer have a good mindset about that person. That individual right there, I can't be positive about that person. To be honest, I can say for almost any person, even the most evil people in history, that I can probably look into their history, their past. And if I get to have a time machine or something like that, and I went back to where they were, and I got to see how they operated in the day with no restrictions, I can find something good about them. Maybe they were a good father or a good mother. Maybe they loved the people around them, but they had a mindset that didn't like a different group of people. But I can see the positive. And when I start to see the positive in people, then I start to work on that. Let's focus on that. Because if you focus on the positive, again, guess what happens next? Everything else starts to become more positive. A lot of people start to focus on the negative and they wonder why their life is so bad. Oh, my life is so bad. I got to focus on the negative. Oh, I don't have any money in my account. This is negative. I got to focus on this. I don't have any clients. I got to focus on this. Do you know why you don't have anything good in your life? It's because you're always focusing on the negative. You're focusing on the things you don't have rather than the things you do have. But if you started to focus on the things you do have, imagine how you can overcome challenge and how you can overcome any type of controversies that can ever come your way. It's all about mindset, and it's all about understanding where you are on the spectrum. Are you living in comfort, or are you always seeking challenge and failure? Because if you're always living in comfort and fear, then it's going to be very difficult to make changes in your life. And we want to make changes. We want to make good changes. We want to be the people that we see for our future rather than people we wish and aspire to be, but we don't take any action. It's easy to dream and believe. It's harder to take action. So we have to learn how to take more action. In this blog right here, Tune-Up Series Part 42, How to Overcome Challenge and Controversy, is going to be a great resource for you figuring out How can you level up? How can you become better, right? From where you are to going through that challenge and then becoming stronger because of it. That can be the ultimate measure of you. It doesn't have to be the ultimate measure of men alone. Women can be in this situation too, where they're allowing comfort to get in the way. Maybe you want a better body. Maybe you want a better life or a better mindset. Regardless of what you're looking for, you can make the changes. And the solution we have here on this blog, but then also part of the solution is that the solution is you. Making change and to really take the steps to want to make a change in your life and to be better is going to be an investment. Maybe it might be a huge hurdle or turmoil that you have to go through. It's not going to be easy. Even in my life, when I had to make the biggest changes, we don't know where we're going to end up. I had to choose, do I want to stay in this complacency and this comfort, or do I want to change my life? And I'm so happy that I said that I would rather be uncomfortable today, so tomorrow I can be in a better place. Many people, they would rather just stay in comfort today, stay in the same place, but aspire to be something more in the future. But there's no action. If you're one of those people right now where you just live in comfort and you want more, but you're not doing more, coaching is going to be one of the best tools for you. It's going to be that spark. It's going to be that motivator every single day. It's going to be your purpose, your new passion to get up and to show up. If you are someone who is inconsistent, you don't want to be in the comfort zone, you take some action, you do things right, in your New Year's resolutions type of people, you're going to need coaching. Same thing. How can you stay on long term? How can you create the habits for the long term, the long haul? Success is not something that you reach and then all of a sudden you're successful forever. You can lose success. Just because you had success in one point of your life doesn't mean you're going to have it in the next point of your life. There's always an evolution. There's always a growth. If I wanted to lose 50 pounds and I say, okay, I finally lost 50 pounds, I reached my goal. And I can easily say, oh, I reached my goal. I lost 50 pounds. I don't have to care anymore. So I start going to McDonald's. I start eating all these foods and all these cakes and all these sweets and all these treats. And all of a sudden I gain back that 50 pounds. Oh, I can't believe I gained back all that weight. It was very difficult to lose that 50 pounds too. I can't do it again. It was too much work. I remember how difficult it was for me. I don't want to do it again. Many people are there. When they reach for a goal and they finally get it and they finally lose it, they're less likely to push up and challenge themselves again. But there's going to be those crazy people who say, I lost what I had, but I'm going to get back what I had. Those people have a great mindset and they don't necessarily need coaching because they already know what to do. How do we get into that mindset? You need a coach, you need a mentor in the beginning, or you need to make sure you listen to the podcast and read the blogs and to give yourself always that idea. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to reach more. I'm going to get out of my comfort. I'm going to seek challenge and failure rather than stay where I am. Because if you're happy where you are, then sure, you can stay there. But many people in life, I would say 70% of people want some change. They want to make some adjustments. And if you're one of those people, figure out how you're going to do that. Head over to RevenConcepts.com. You can get yourself some coaching. If you're not able to get coaching, get a free consultation. And you can begin that process to really diving in deep to change, to getting to a better life, and learning how to overcome any challenges that might come your way and any type of controversy that can stem up from the world. And whether it be yours or because of society, you are the factor and you are the solution. You just have to make sure that you're hungry and driven to tune up your life to the peak optimal condition. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. You can head over to RevenConcepts.com for any type of coaching or consultations. And I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.